were six heroes during the olden times of Greece, and these heroes are Io, Europa, Odysseus who defeated Polyphemus, a cyclops, the flower myths, Narcissus, Hyacinthus, and Adonis. I will tell you a brief tale about them, each one. Io is a priestess of Hera in Argos, whose father is Inachus, a river god, a nymph who was seduced by Zeus, who changed her into a heifer to escape detection. Her mistress Hera set ever-watchful Argus Panoptes, a 100-eyed giant, to guard her, but Hermes was sent to distract the guardian and slay him. Heifer Io was loosed to roam the world, stung by a maddening gadfly sent by Hera, and wandered to Egypt, thus placing her descendant Belus in Egypt. His sons Cadmus and Danaus would thus return to mainland Greece. Zeus was enamored of Europa and decided to seduce or ravage her. The two being near equivalent in Greek myth, he transformed himself into a tame white bull and mixed in with her father's herds. While Europa and her female attendants were gathering flowers, she saw the bull, caressed his flanks, and eventually got into his back. Zeus took that opportunity and ran to the sea and swam with her on his back to the island of Crete. He then revealed his true identity, and Europa became the first queen of Crete. Zeus gave her a necklace made by Hephaestus and three additional gifts: Talos, Laelaps, and a javelin that never missed. Zeus later recreated the shape of the white bull in the stars, which is now known as the constellation Taurus. Some interprets this as manifestation of the same bull, the Cretan beast that was encountered by Hercules, the Marathonian bull slain by Theseus. Echo, a nymph, falls in love with a vain youth named Narcissus, who was the son of the blue nymph Liriope of Thespia. The river god Cephissus had once encircled Liriope with the windings of his streams, and thus trapping her, had seduced the nymph, who gave birth to an exceptionally beautiful boy. Concerned about the welfare of such a beautiful child, Liriope consulted the prophet Tiresias regarding her son's future. Tiresias told the nymph that Narcissus would live to a ripe old age if he didn't come to know himself. When he had reached his 16th year, 15th year of age, every youth and girl in the town was in love with him, but he haughtily spurned them all. He believed them not to be worthy of his love. One day when Narcissus was out hunting stags, Echo stealthily followed the handsome youth through the woods, longing to address him but unable to speak first. When Narcissus finally heard footsteps and shouted, "Who's there?" Echo answered, "Who's there?" And so it went, until finally Echo showed herself and rushed to embrace the lovely youth. He pulled away from the nymph and vainly told her to leave him alone. Narcissus left Echo heartbroken, and she spent the rest of her life in lonely glens, pining away for the love she never knew, until only her voice remained. With Narcissus unchanged and still scornful of those who sought him, a spurned virgin prayed to Nemesis to take revenge on Narcissus by making him feel unrequited love. Nemesis heard this prayer and sent Narcissus his punishment. He came across a deep pool in a forest, from which he took a drink. As he did, he saw his reflection for the first time in his life, and fell in love with the beautiful boy he was looking at, not realizing it was himself. Eventually, after pinning away for a while, he realized that the image he saw in the pool was a reflection of himself. Realizing that he could not act upon this love, he tore at his dress and beat at his body. His life force running out of him. As he died, the bloodless echo came upon him and felt sorrow and pity. His soul was sent to the darkest hell, and the narcissus flower grew ever where he died. Instead, the narcissus still keeps gazing on his image in the waters of the river Styx. Hyacinth was a beautiful young man and lover of the god Apollo. Though he was also admired by west wind Zephyr, Apollo and Hyacinth took turns throwing the discus. Hyacinth ran to catch it to impress Apollo, was struck by the discus as it fell to the ground, and died. A twist in the tale makes the wind god Zephyrus responsible for the death of Hyacinth. His beauty caused a feud between Zephyrus and Apollo. Jealous that Hyacinth preferred the radiant archery god Apollo, Zephyrus blew Apollo's discus off course so as to injure and kill Hyacinth. When he died, Apollo didn't allow Hades to claim the young man. Rather, he made the flower, the hyacinth, from his spilled blood. The tears of Apollo stained the newly formed flower's petal with AA, the sign of his grief. The flower of the mythological hyacinth has been identified with a number of plants other than the true hyacinth, such as the iris. Hyacinth is the tutelary deity of one of the principal Spartan festivals, the Hyacinthia, held every summer. The festival lasted 3 days, 1 day of mourning for the death of the divine hero Hyacinth, and the last 2 celebrating his rebirth as Apollo Hyacinthos, though the division of honors is a subject for scholarly controversy. Aphrodite urged Myrrha to commit incest with her father Thais, the king of Semima or Syria. Myrrha's nurse helped him with the scheme, and Myrrha slept with her father in the darkness. When Theseus at last discovered this deception by means of an oil lamp, he flew into a rage, chasing his daughter with a knife. Myrrha fled from her father, and Aphrodite turned her into a myrrh tree. When Theseus shot an arrow into the tree, or alternately when a boar used its tusk to rend the tree's bark, Adonis was born from the tree. This myth fits both Adonis' nature as a god and his origins from the hot, foreign desert lands where the myrrh tree grew. As soon as Adonis was born, the baby was so beautiful that Aphrodite placed him in a closed chest, which she delivered for security to Persephone, who was also entranced with his unearthly beauty and refused to give him back. The argument between the goddess of love and the goddess of death was settled by Zeus, with Adonis spending 6 months with Aphrodite, who seduced him with the help of Helen, her friend, and 6 months with Persephone. Adonis died at the tusk of a wild boar, sent by either Artemis in retaliation for Aphrodite's instigating the death of Hippolytus, a favorite of the huntress goddess, or Aphrodite's paramour Ares. As Aphrodite sprinkled nectar on his body, each drop of Adonis's blood turned into blood-red anemone, and the river Adonis, flowing out of Mount Lebanon and coastal Lebanon, ran red according to Lucian. Therefore Persephone ultimately laid claim to Adonis, as his shade was transported forevermore to the underworld. Lucian, who attributed the color of the river Adonis to siltation, adds, nonetheless there are some inhabitants of Bible also say that Osiris of Egypt lies buried among them, and the mourning and the ceremonies are all made in honor of Osiris instead of Adonis. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a Joseph Henry S. Reyes presentation and a Dream Nation Productions. And I just want to say thank you for watching this presentation, and see you all later.